Okay, so we're recording. So hopefully you guys can see the screen. You should be able to see the single slide PowerPoint on the screen. Just somebody give me, okay, thank you, good. So this is session 2. Last week we went, I'll go do a very quick review. Session 2, what I'm particularly looking at today is how to generate leads and inquiries and specifically inbound. That's what we're looking at. I think the opportunity we have for the selling and marketing after the lockdown is getting inbound inquiries and leads coming in. So when we looked at from last week, the reason we're doing this is because look, we've got a couple of new people on the call. So I think that the sales and marketing landscape has changed. It changed about 2 months ago. Before, we could go and meet people, we could network, we could get amongst our people, we could generate leads and inquiries and get lots of referrals. That will still be there, but it's going to be different. But also there's a big opportunity now for generating leads, inquiries, and potential new clients coming through from our online presence, and how we do our marketing has changed quite dramatically. So a lot of people found this quite challenging. I think a lot of the old ways of marketing have been sort of done away with now. Well, they're still there. We can adapt them a little bit. We're going to go through that as well. But some specific tips and ideas we can use for certainly social media, for example, where we can get some traction. So people buy because of an emotional connection. This is the whole philosophy of the program, if you like. They buy emotionally first, and they justify the purchase logically. And I think everybody on the call, I know you guys, some slightly better than others, but it doesn't matter what business you're in, whether you're in the manufacturing machine tool business, you're in the martial arts business, you're in the dating business, or you're in the HR support business. There's an emotional connection that has to be made before somebody will buy from you, or at least reach out and say, hi, let's have a discussion. So we want to build that emotional connection that justifies their logical response to things, but we want, oops, a second, Aaron, I'm trying to multitask here. Welcome, Aaron. So it's the emotional connection first. All of us, I think, and you guys might know this because someone's been working together for a long time now, is that there has to be an emotional connection, and then we back up this emotional decision with logic. So we need both sides of it. I think the thing that a lot of people miss in their marketing, their visibility, and their presentations is they stay on the logic side and they ignore the emotional side or the vulnerability side or the personal side. So that's the reason we're focusing on these areas here. In session 1, what we covered last week was emotion versus logic. That there must be an emotional component to the marketing and the sales. We need to be prepared to not just promote our business, but we've got to promote ourselves, put ourselves in front of our brand and promote ourselves. And as we'll see later on with Stefan, that he did a fabulous job of that with some really interesting results, but we'll come on to that as we go. Certainty versus risk. People will buy if they think they are positive and certain about us, our background, our history, our reputation. If they like us, they know us, and they trust us. That high degree of certainty replaces the risk of working with us. And we've got to do that because we're not going to meet the clients now. We're not going to meet people face to face for some time. We've got to replace that relationship of people coming into an academy or into an office or for a meeting. We're going to replace all that with our online visibility. So when we get to meet people, and the first time we meet them is going to be now probably via Zoom or Skype or something like that, that we've done all the hard work, all the brand building has been done, and then we're into sales mode. But the certainty of that replaces the risk that they may feel about talking to a stranger. Personality versus business. We must promote our personalities. Everybody on the call, I know you guys reasonably well. You've all got very strong personalities. You've got a sense of humor. You've got great backstories, interesting lives, stories to tell, and that's what we're in. We're in the storytelling business. And what I'm going to demonstrate, I hope, is that the best results come not from promoting your business, how fabulous it is. It's promoting yourselves and what you do professionally, but it's building that connection with people, that level of visibility. That's why they come to you. So it's personality first and business secondary. And finally, consistency. I see so many times where people start doing something. They say, I'm going to do a video every week. I'm going to start doing posts on LinkedIn. I'm going to send some direct mail out or something like this. And for 2 weeks, they do it, and then it tapers off. And that is worse than doing nothing, because if people see you being active and then you disappear, then it breaks that consistency and breaks the trust. So all these things, we need a strategy, we need a consistent approach to it as well. So that's what we've covered. And what I'm going to go through today in much more detail, I hope, is what do leads look like? How do we generate leads? How do we get people to contact us? What are the strategies and what are the tactics? So number one, what is a lead? And a lead basically is whatever you say it is. For me, in my business, we've got the language training business, we've got the exec business and the coaching and training business. A lead for us tends to be simply an email comes in, or it's a message on typically LinkedIn or maybe Facebook. That's how we receive our inquiries. Back in the old days, it was a phone call. Back in the very old days, it was a fax where we didn't have emails and that sort of thing. But it can be just an inbound message from a variety of areas, but I know where they're going to come from. I can predict where my inquiries are going to come from, and I'll show you how we do that because we manage our pipeline. And I can sort of see where the people are going to come from, either for a workshop or a coaching program or a language training. I know where they're going to come from because we're monitoring the pipeline as we go. In your business, it might be different. It could be a Facebook message. Yes, they do telex. They may be only in the UK do they use telex still. It might be different in your business. It may be you get a text message. It could be a letter comes in, or an RFQ, or a potential for quotation, anything like that. So be really clear. What are you looking for? What do you want to happen as a lead? What is it that happens when you get a lead? So for me, it's probably email, LinkedIn, Facebook. That's probably about the main way we get them. And in your business, if it's a letter, if it's an email, then that's what you're looking at. That's what you have to monitor. So it's whatever you say it is, but leads come in all different flavors. There's all different types of leads. I've had leads come through to me on a text. I've had somebody send me a video recording on Facebook Live. I've had people send me a letter. I had somebody phone up, and it doesn't matter who they are. I had a lady she phoned me up on the mobile cell phone, and she said, my husband needs your help. He's got stuck in his career. I want to buy an hour of your time on his birthday to help him out. And he's like, wow. So I got a lead through a telephone call to go and meet with this guy and do some work together. So they come from all over the place. Dirk, welcome. And you are muted, but welcome to the call, sir. So leads are whatever you call them. They come from a variety of sources. Now, how do we generate the leads? This is where we've got to do the work and the efforts. Now, in marketing, there are two main styles of strategy that we use, and I'd like you to sort of consider. There's what is called above-the-line marketing and below-the-line marketing. Above-the-line marketing is where we just put stuff out there. This is when we put just generalized content, and below-the-line marketing is much more targeted and specific. And we're going to cover both areas. For what we do, just so you know, we do very little below the line marketing. We only do above the line marketing, so high visibility, and we attract leads into us. And that's probably the most elegant, cheapest way to do it. Below the line marketing is much more direct. It depends what business you're in. Both work, but there's different strategies for both. So if we look at the above the line marketing first, things like your website. You've got to have a good website. I know a couple of you are rebuilding your websites now. When I look at your website, I find you. Does it tell me what you do? Have I got a picture of you? Is it easy to engage? Can I send you a message? Can I register for some free download? Can I get an ebook? Can I become on your database? How does your website appear? Now, you don't particularly have to go down the route of having an SEO so you're found at the top of the list. For what I found for my business, I don't believe many people Google, find me a business coach, or find me this or find me that. They discover us through different areas. We are discovered rather than search for. If you are a highly competitive search for business, then SEO can work really well. Make sure you get found. And this is not a particular subject for this workshop, but look at sponsored links and speak to a web specialist, get your website up and running. But make sure your website is visible, it's up to date, highly navigable, and make sure also, which bizarrely still happens, it looks good on a PC, and the tablet version and the smartphone version as well. They should all realign so they look really good. Otherwise, it's a red flag. So it's the shop. It is a shop window. Yeah, by definition, the shop window. We don't have shops anymore. It's all we've got. Facebook. So this is where you have a Facebook page, and I recommend it. It doesn't matter what business you're in. Facebook is a good place to be. It's a very, very powerful search engine, very powerful for targeting as well, but great for visibility. I'm going to show you my Facebook pages a little bit later on. It's not just for kids, but there are very few kids on Facebook now. They've all moved on to Snapchat. They've all left us older ones are on Facebook. So on Facebook, you have two pages. Typically, you have a business page, and then you have your personal page. Do your activity through your personal page and copy it across to your business page. That's where you're going to get the visibility and high degree of interaction, and get up to 5,000 friends on Facebook. That's the limit. I'm up to 5,000 on mine. Well, as I was before we started this webinar, I'll show you later on, and somebody might have unfriended me by now. So Facebook, have a Facebook page, treat it as an interactive website. That's all it really is. It's engagement, it's communication, it's messaging. Be on Facebook, and then you have YouTube. And when you come to YouTube doing videos, one of the challenges I'm going to set you for next week as homework is to produce a 2 or 3 minute video that you can all put up onto your LinkedIn page during the next week. So when it comes to, I do videos every day, as maybe, you know, you've seen them, I hope. A couple of tips on doing a video. First of all, when you're looking at the camera, if I look down the screen now, I can see people on the call. Most people are having their eyes in line with the camera. Some are looking down, some are looking up and all over the place. Pretend it's a person you're speaking with. Hold eye contact with the camera. So when you look at me, it looks, or it appears, I hope, when I'm talking to you guys, it appears I'm holding eye contact with you. If I look at my screen where I can see your faces, it looks as if I'm not looking at you. So the trick is always look at the camera and have the camera at eye line. It must be an HD level camera, and also get a decent mic. So this is mine. You can see this is a gamer's mic. It's an ADX. It's about 35 euros, 35 quid from any sort of supermarket, game store, that sort of thing. But it's a directional mic. So it means it's sat in front of me, and as I talk, it's not picking up the ambient noise or the dogs snoring in the background. It's just picking up me. And also then I have a lot of these around, which I call them cushions, but they're sound deadening pads, so that there's no reverb in the office. If you don't have a lot of soft furnishings, make sure you sort of get the reverb down. Watch for your background, make sure it's balanced and symmetrical and that sort of thing. I always use these books, always good for me, but just engineer the eye line, the microphone, the audio, and hold eye contact with your camera. And all I use when I do my videos, and you can do the same, the easiest way to do it, you can do it on your phone as well, obviously, if you want to. I use it on the PC. I use the camera app. So camera, record, and then I just talk. And there's no editing. It's one take. I do about 5 or 6 minutes on average for my videos. You can do them shorter than that. And then when you press stop, it just drops it into your camera roll file. You can check it, you can edit it if you want to, but you shouldn't really have to, and then put it up directly onto LinkedIn and Facebook. So we'll look at that a little bit later on. But a video is a key way of getting your message out there. And even if you're a bit uncomfortable about it, then do it anyway. It's a good thing, as you'll see when we speak to Stefan later on. Twitter, Twitter is a good one for above the line visibility, messaging, being seen out there. I don't get any business specifically from Twitter, but I'm on it. I transfer all my LinkedIn content, goes on to Twitter and the videos. We do get some activity through it, but I've got to say it's not something we use as a key one for us. What it is very good for, however, is messaging individual people, which is this sort of going to below the line. So be on Twitter, get a following, and be active on it as well. And then finally, or most importantly, perhaps most of us, LinkedIn. I've looked at some of your LinkedIn profiles. When we go and look at my profile, I may look or get on the screen some of your profiles as well. So watch out. It's a perfect opportunity to be visible and tell your story, basically. So when I'm looking at the above the line strategies, these are the 5 things I would recommend you have nailed, if you like. There's loads of other ones out there. You can look at things like Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, same sort of thing. You can have Instagram linked with it for images and short videos, but have these systemized and structured, and polish all the sites up. And if you get stuck, you can drop me a note on them. And also networking. is above the line because it's non-specific, non-targeted. Nowadays, you can go to BNI or 4N or LinkedIn Local, and these are all being taken online now onto video. I was speaking to a couple of people this morning, and I think Aaron, who's on the call, I think he does a lot of work with 4N up in Yorkshire, for example. So it's non-specific, it's not targeted, it's general stuff you put out there, you're spreading the word, but networking is the best place to be because that will get that high level of visibility for you. Above all this, the reason video is good is because the number one strategy we used to find that worked for us was being on stage, getting visible, being on stage, speaking in front of an audience, doing a conference or a workshop or a keynote or a lunch and learn or anything like that. Get on stage. Now, at the moment, we can't get on stage because we're not allowed to. So video is the next best way of doing it. And what you can also do with video, and I would recommend everybody to do this one. It is not targeted, not specific, but start yourself a podcast. Start interviewing people. I know Claudia, I know Stefan's doing it. Aaron, you're going to do it. I think there's a lot of people out there doing this, but it's critical. I interview people and put it out there as a podcast. I've been interviewed by people as well. So it replaces the physical networking with virtual video, virtual networking, and get good at video. Get good. That's the number one tip I can give you here. Get good at video. It's the number one way you're going to really differentiate yourself in the market, make a name for yourself and your business, and have that sort of personality revealed to the world. Now, the challenge with above the line, or the principles of above the line marketing are, it's very broad. You're putting stuff out there, you put it out into the ether. My content goes on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's everywhere. And you have to make it very, very broad and general. You have to make it very consistent as well. It's also very, very time sensitive. Not just in the time you do it, but it takes a lot of time to produce it. I do my videos every day. I spend about at least an hour on social media every day producing videos and content. So it's very time intensive. But it's free, if that makes sense. It doesn't cost anything. I don't do any sponsored links or advertising or anything like that. You absolutely can if that's your market, but I don't. So I prefer to invest my time to produce content and circulate it, and then I send it very, very broad. Then it's a long gestation period. In your businesses and mine, I think we're going to have to wait probably 3 or 4 months. And I measure this. It takes around about 3 or 4 months for somebody to initially connect, to work all the way through to have a conversation or come to a workshop or become a client. So it's a long gestation period. It's not very quick. You need patience and you've got to be very consistent with it. If you're in the B2B market, which a lot of us are, and you're dealing with maybe the large organizations, the PLCs or the corporates, they take longer, in my experience. We had an email come in, I think Virginia will probably like this one, she'll understand this, from Luxembourg. An email came in from the EIB, European Investment Bank, and it simply said, this mail said, my boss has been watching your videos for 2 years now, and we'd like to sit down and have a coffee. And it's like, flipping heck, 2 years? And it was great, fabulous, it was great, but the bigger the organization, the slower they seem to go. So be aware of that. If that's too long, we can compensate for that, which we're going to touch on later on with a direct approach. But this above the line, it will produce. It may take on average 3 months, 4 months in our business. You can measure it, but you've got to be consistent. When it's flowing, of course, then you're good. It flows all the time. So my target for all my activity is simply to get 1 inquiry per week. And that could be for a conference speaking gig, it could be a workshop, it could be a coaching program. If I get 1 a week, then the business grows, we look after ourselves and life is good. So I do all my activity geared around 1 inquiry coming in, 1 lead coming in per week. In your business, if you're in the martial arts business, for example, maybe you want 5 or 10 a week coming in. If you're in the machine tool business, maybe you want 1 every 2 weeks coming in or something like that. But when we look at the targeting, we went through the homework for the targeting, look at the sales you want, the conversion rate and the leads you want, and we gear the activity around those number of leads, whatever it is. It's also intangible. This is one of the downsides of it that marketing people don't like, and I don't like it. But if I get an inquiry come in, and we had one on Monday come in, which is one for the week, so this week's done, I'm all right. When an inquiry comes in, I'm not really sure what triggered it. Was it a YouTube video? Was it a Facebook post? Was it LinkedIn? Was it and it's sort of into this sort of grey area of just this stuff that we do. It's this intangible approach to it. But I know it works, and even if you speak to the the prospect, say, where do you get our details from? They'll say something like, "Oh, I found your website online." All right, they don't know why. Now, what's happened, of course, is they've seen a video, they've seen a post, and it's almost subliminal. You're registering with them, and at some point they'll see something on Facebook, and they go, "Ping, yeah, I want to register, I want to sign up, I want to have a conversation." So it's a bit of a downside of this above the line marketing. It absolutely works. Because it's just consistent volume, personality driven content, not just business driven content. It's very, very low cost, and so therefore the ROI is very high. Other things about it, very, very high conversion rate. What happens when you get an inbound lead? If somebody comes to you and they say, "I've heard about you guys, I've seen what you do, I like you, or whatever, I like your stuff," the opportunity for you to sell or them to buy is much higher. So the conversion rate on an inbound lead will be very, very high, which is going to be close to, should be above 90% for most organizations if we get the content right. So very, very high conversion rate and a high retention rate. We've looked at this from our marketing. It's why we do above the line market or referral marketing. If somebody chooses to work with you, they have that sort of emotional connection. They have an obligation to make it work because they've chosen you. If you go and sell to them hard, which we can all do that sometimes, we go and sell hard, there's not that level of engagement, there's not that level of trust. You can build it up over time, but we found that the retention of clients was higher with inbound leads based on above the line marketing than it was with outbound telesales, direct mail, email. So high conversion rate and high retention rate. So if you can gauge your business around these sort of strategies, it's much more elegant. People come to you, they ask to work with you, and you'll sign up. They're bought before they get to see you, basically. So it has a high personality bias. I've got to have. If you're marketing on LinkedIn or Facebook on your business pages, it probably won't work as well. So you've got to use your personal pages. People want to see you. They want to know about you, your background, your relationship, your dog, your cat, your kids, your car. They want to know everything. And you've got to be happy to reveal some of that content. I think it was last week, I pick on Lynn because we're in business together and life together. So I call Lynn the blonde one on my posts, or I put a picture of Lynn somewhere. Whatever. I make it into we're a family business. And I'm okay to, Lynn tells me off sometimes, but I put that out there. The best post I ever did on LinkedIn, an image post, was a picture of Lucy the beagle. You may have seen it, with the blue bucket on her head. So that was, and he got all the sympathy vote, and he's just, anyway. So personality bias, you've got to reveal, you've got to give your personality, your take on things, your ideas, and reveal yourself on the market. It is unpredictable because you don't know what's going to happen. You've got to trust it. I know we get on average 1 lead a week coming in, and to do that, and I'll go through my KPIs with you on my media flows after the break. It is unpredictable. You've got to trust that it's going to work, and you've got to keep doing the activity. Very high ROI. My investment on social media marketing is 0, apart from my LinkedIn membership. That's it. So which costs about $250 a year. I think it is $300 a year now for me. I've been on it for a long time. So my acquisition cost of clients is cash low, but time high. I put an hour a day into it. So you could argue it takes me 5 hours work to get 1 client. Now, if you're in the martial arts business, that's not going to work for you because you want to get more students than that. So we've got to find a faster, bigger, better, brighter way of doing that for you guys. But for some of us, maybe 1 a week is okay, and 5 hours investment to get 1 or 2 new clients is fine. And what I call high crossover, they blend together. Because if I do a post on LinkedIn, it works on Facebook. If I do a post on Instagram, it works on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. A video goes up on YouTube, it works on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. And being consistent across the channels is key. So if I do a video, and I'll show you the videos a little bit later on, I record it, I then embed the video into LinkedIn Direct. I'll show you how we do that. And then I embed it into Facebook, not copy and paste the URL from YouTube. Then I embed it onto my YouTube channels, the business page, my personal page, and then I circulate it. So if somebody sees my Facebook page and my LinkedIn page or my Twitter feed, it's the same content, it's consistent across all the channels. So the beauty of it is one piece of content will go across all channels. I don't differentiate between Facebook and LinkedIn particularly. I've got some things I would post and some things I don't, but pretty much what you put on LinkedIn will go on Facebook and vice versa. And I do at least 3 posts a day, 3, maybe 5 posts a day that cover all the channels. And regularly people say to me, the first thing I see on LinkedIn is you. I pop up on their feed. So sorry about that. But it is a very, very high crossover. That's the beauty of it. Now, how my LinkedIn funnel works, and this will be different for you guys, but this is what we measure. So I look for people who like my posts. Not the connection just yet. They like my post. That's the first indication they like a comment or they like a post. And then they appear on my radar. If they keep on doing that on a consistent basis, I take their name and I log it onto we don't use a CRM, but if I have a CRM system, I start to log onto the CRM. I look on LinkedIn, use the sales navigator, for example, start to make them into an interested party. Then they may put some comments on the post as well. They put comments, they're beginning to warm up a little bit. Now, if somebody puts a comment or a like on your post, Facebook or LinkedIn, doesn't matter what it is, always go back and thank them. Thanks for the comment, thanks for the like, good to see you, have a great weekend, whatever you like. Have a conversation. It's social media for a reason. This is why it takes a long time to do it. So I look for comments. I then look for, I'll do a download. They download a book, an ebook. Now, the best thing you can have, obviously, if you're going to have there's a couple of people coming in. Here we go. Sorry. There we go. Yes, got it. Sorry, I missed it. Is have an ebook. Have an ebook. Now, if you're going to write articles and posts and blogs and content, just stitch them all together, and that becomes an ebook. 20 pages, you're done. PDF. People then download an ebook, and you have their email address. You can do it through your website, you can do it through LinkedIn, but have something they've got to do to download something from you, some sort of content or a video or access to some sort of site if you can. Then I want them to come onto a seminar or a webinar. Now, in the old days, it would have been coming to a workshop or LinkedIn Local in Luxembourg or something like that. Now, going forwards, and for all of it, it's going to be a webinar or a Zoom meeting. But you can do these. You can set up a Zoom meeting on anything. Stefan, I think Stefan, he'll tell us later on, I'm going to say between 50 and 60 people on a Zoom meeting webinar that he ran a couple of weeks ago. Well, that's huge visibility. That's people connecting, participating, being in the gang, listen to what you say, you're on stage, the perfect way of building your credibility in your network. So invite them into a seminar or webinar. And then what happens after that, we get a message. Can we have a conversation? I'll show you what messages we get as we go along. And then we have a meeting. Now, the meeting now is Zoom. It's a Zoom meeting, not a face-to-face meeting. They will go back to face-to-face. So when we come to next week, we're going to look at how do you sell face-to-face. We've got clients we've never met, and all being done over Zoom, all being done over YouTube or LinkedIn. But I look for these things, and as they move towards my position, I can predict when we're going to get a message. I don't message them, very rarely. They will message me, and they'll just say, well, I've seen your videos, I like your content, or this, whatever it is, and should we have a virtual coffee and a chat? That's all it is. That's all a sales meeting is. Can we have a coffee and a chat? So we set up a Zoom meeting. Now, my conversion rate from that funnel on LinkedIn or Facebook or any social media channel, my conversion rate is 92.4% because we measure it. So we get an invitation to a meeting, and because they've already bought before they've met us or come to us, if you like, they've already bought. It's not a sales meeting, it's just a confirmation meeting. It's taking that emotional decision they've made to purchase and transferring into a logical confirmation. And providing there's no surprises, no shocks, that's how we do it. So for you guys, the same thing applies. People are going to like your post, they comment on your post, they download something, they share something, and at some point they will do your message. Can we have a coffee and a chat? But you've got to be very consistent with it. So leads, that's how you generate them through inbound social media. Any questions? I'm going to keep going at quite a pace because any questions? I'll just put it onto the box, the thing there if you like to. Now this next one is a post. This is the best post I ever did on LinkedIn or so far. And this is just a screen print of the message I put onto LinkedIn. This is when I say it's not going to be about business. It's going to have to be about you, your background, your story, even your family. This one is a conversation I had with my mom, and this was done about 2 months ago, just on the cusp of the lockdown. My mom is nearly 90 now, bless her, over in the UK, and it was when there were no toilet rolls available in the UK. They've been panic buying toilet rolls in the UK for some reason. Goodness knows why. And I had a phone call with my mom and said, "How you doing? Are you okay?" And she's fine. She's a tough old bird. And she just said, you can see on here, lots of bugs in the air when I was a child, doodle bugs and bombers and incendiaries and air raids at night. We had lead paint, little food, no new clothes, and every day we thought we were invaded by the Nazis. If I can get through that, I'm sure a shortage of toilet rolls from Asda won't bother me. It was just a bit of fun. But if you look then at the engagement that had, this is on LinkedIn, this is not Facebook. It had 5,500 people make a register, a like, or that sort of thing. 331 comments. But look at the views at the bottom. 250,000 views on that particular page there. Now, the reason that views are important, what that did, that spiked my views of my LinkedIn profile. It jacked up my visibility, it jacked up my people looking at me and my number of connections as a whole thing. You'll see on the chart, I'll show you later on. But the purpose of that is it doesn't have to be about business. It's, in fact, business is the last thing you should promote. When we spoke last week about this jab, 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 right hook, this is one of the jabs. This is getting people to look at your content, look at your story. Then every 5 or 6 posts that we do, then you do the offer for the ebook, or you do an offer for a webinar, offer for a workshop or something like that, offer for a free trial, offer for whatever it is you do, then you do the offer. But you've got to do these jabs in between. Now, if I do an offer after I've done this one, I've got 250,000 people see this. It's just, you can't buy that sort of visibility. And this was done, I'd say it was about 2 months ago now, just during the very early stages of lockdown. But it'll work for you guys as well. You have to reveal yourselves and tell stories as well. I told my mom that she was famous on LinkedIn. I said there's 250,000 people. It's 360,000 now. It's climbed, but this is when I did the screenshot. And she was really worried that people are going to come around to her house and find her, bless her. So anyway, still, I told her they would, so to lock the hatches down. Anyway, there you go. Now, so you do all this sort of content. Now, what does a lead look like? So this is another message I had. This is from June last year. This is just a typical message, and you're going to get these. So this was it's my lady called Laura over in the UK. Hi, David. We can see this. Well, love your posts and videos. Been following you for a while. She'd been following me for 4 months at this point in time, because I tracked back to the first time we connected together. Next 3 or 4 months looking for a coach, blah blah blah, and look forward to hearing from you. Smiley face, Laura. Now, what is the likely conversion rate of an inbound lead like that? It's going to be pretty high. If you get an inquiry like that, the deal is pretty much done. All we can do is talk them out of it. That's the beauty of inbound leads, inbound marketing. It's how it goes. The quality is much higher. If you imagine, and some of you guys have been working with for quite some time, if I had just phoned you out the blue, you never heard of me, phoned you out the blue and said, I'll pick on Ricky. Ricky, do you want a business coach? And Ricky's going to go, no, of course I don't. I don't know you. What's going on? Now, Ricky and I have been working together for some time, because we've got to know each other through different networks and conferences and all that sort of thing. And at some point in time, it made sense. Now, if I try and force what I do onto anybody, they push back. I have to go into sales mode. That's why the conversion rate's lower and retention rate is lower. Sometimes people say yes just to shut me up and get rid of me, if you like. So inbound inquiries based on personality-driven marketing is like gold. And we get, say, one of these every week, pretty much, either email or LinkedIn or Facebook, that sort of thing. That's what you're going to get. Now, you're also going to get some what I call dodgy messages. Next one is a real message I had. And again, being blunt, this happens more to the women than the guys. I don't know why. Well, that's because guys are parasitic numpties. But Lynn has her LinkedIn profile, and I have mine. Every week, Lynn will get somebody who pops up and says, you have very pretty eyes and all that sort of. Now, well, she has got pretty eyes, but it's not really, so we delete and block. This is a message I had some time ago now from a guy called Brian Cullen, who looks suspiciously like a famous American actor, George Clooney to me. But you can read them. My dear David, never a good start for a message. Dear David, the moment I saw your photo here, and could not resist the desire to explore the opportunity available to me. No idea who he is, bit of a nutter, bit of a psycho. and I would block and delete. You are going to get these sort of things on either Facebook and LinkedIn. Unfortunately, for the ladies on the call, you're going to get more than the guys get. You just are. The more visibility you put out there, you're going to attract some of these crazy types. In my experience, anybody who says they're in the US military on deployment in Iraq looking for a friend, block and delete because it's not them. Lynn gets loads of those. Those American soldiers, apparently, they're not American soldiers. So just tread carefully, just tread real careful. But we get lots of those from time to time. So any questions on above the line marketing? We're going to look at some of the actual tactics that after coffee break. Any questions so far? I want to move on to below the line marketing now. Everybody good? Are we happy? Yep. Excellent. Good. Okay, so below the line marketing. Now, I'm going to put these up here as well. These sites that are just called above the line marketing are also below the line because we can target through them. The technical term is through the line marketing. They are above the line and below the line, therefore they're through. So you can do direct messaging on LinkedIn, for example, and I'll show you how to do that later on. I will do that. I'll invite people to LinkedIn Local through direct messaging on LinkedIn. I will do a search of people in Luxembourg, for example, or my second degree connections, and specifically send them a connection request. I'll do 10 a day of those to build my network, and I put a message with them as well. So you can use these sites that are general social media sites for direct specific marketing as well. You can do the same on Facebook. Facebook is really good at geographical and tactical marketing through specific groups, age groups, and that type of thing. If that's good for your business, then do that as well. Twitter, networking as well. You can do that same with all the networking sites, and the same for Instagram. The traditional ways of doing the below the line marketing, however, would be things like email. Now, my view on email marketing, I think it's dying a slow, lingering death. Anybody here who has responded to an email marketing piece in the last 2 or 3 months at all? Have you anybody bought anything in response to an email they received? It's pretty doubtful, I would have thought. Most of my emails come in, they go into the spam anyway. Email marketing used to get about 1.5%, maybe even 2% open rate and sort of response rate when you're doing emailing. Now, I think it's down to about 0.5%. So it's really crashed and burned. Email, if you build a database of people on your email list, they've opted in and they like your content and they want to get your newsletter, that's different. You can use it for that tactical communicating, but shotgun marketing out to a purchase database, especially with GDPR right now, it's even more tricky anyway. But it's one of the things you can do. Definitely use your database, though. Build a database and harvest and farm that. Zoom. I would use Zoom. I can target people on Zoom. I will invite people to a Zoom meeting and have conversations with them. Invite them to a Zoom meeting on LinkedIn, for example. And there's a guy did a post on LinkedIn. He had a go at me because I was saying that he should, or companies should, adapt their services to suit the environment, which of course we've got to do. And he was running an industrial cleaning company, and he came back with a smart comment. Well, I used to run an industrial cleaning company as well, and we built it and we sold it in the end. We were so good at it. And I said to him, look, I've run a cleaning company. I can give you some tips and ideas on this. It's a tough business, tight margin, high turnover. I've got some tips and ideas for you. Should we have a Zoom meeting? He said, yeah, that'd be great. Then he backed off and thought it was going to be a sales meeting, I think. But anyway, so you can do it through Zoom. You can do direct mail. Now, if you're going to use direct mail, this is what I would recommend. How many times have you received a letter from somebody in the post? It's not the bank and not the CSSF in Luxembourg. We don't get mail. We don't get letters coming through the post, very rarely. If you send a letter, and when I say letter, it could be a jiffy bag, it could be a nice envelope, handwritten, with a handwritten letter inside, with, we call it lumpy mail, something, be a chocolate bar, a tea bag, a coffee sachet, or a scratch card, as we find from Stefan later on. Make it into lumpy mail and send those out to people. I guarantee that somebody gets a letter, handwritten, addressed to them, with a stamp stuck on it, not franked, a stamp stuck on it. They're going to open it. You're going to get through to them. They're going to get onto their desks. So direct mail, I think, is a good one. Nobody else is doing it. It's highly targeted, very personal. It takes a while to do it. There's a website that you can use. You don't want to handwrite your own letters because it takes a long time. There's a website, and I'll send it out in the notes, called ink-packed marketing. And what they basically do, they get some students on holiday, and they get these students writing out all these letters for you in a nice quill pen. So you can get on there, they post them for you as well. So direct mail, very, very special, very unique. Nobody does it. Big impact. It's going to cost you about what, $1.50, $1.50 to send each one out. So you'll put a bit of money into it. If you do 10 a week, just 10 a week to a targeted, database of CEOs, directors, whoever it is you want to deal with, I guarantee it's going to get open. That's a very nice way of getting through to people. So below the line marketing direct absolutely works. Text messaging, why not? If you've got people on text, they will read text messaging on the social media sites as well. I get text messaging marketing coming through to me sometimes. It depends on the market, depends on how you feel about it. It's a little bit impersonal, a bit sort of in your face, get on a text message, but it absolutely works. I prefer that to email, certainly. Yeah, and do not buy an email list, as Phil was saying. The days are gone. The other way is telephone, telemarketing. Back in the days, we would do telemarketing. We would buy a list of telephone numbers, and I would sit there. I've done it myself. I'd sit there. I would do about 80 handset movements a day, just churning through. When we had our recruitment business, for example, we would do telemarketing around to get either employees and temps or clients. It used to work. It was a good way of getting business back in the day. Now, not so much. It's soul destroying work now. Now, if you're going to do telemarketing, depends on the market. I definitely sub it out to a telemarketing agency. Get somebody else to do it that you trust and uses a decent script. Let them do the donkey work for you. But if you think about it, how many times do you guys respond to a cold call? We don't. We don't like cold calls. We don't respond to them well. So yeah, it depends on your sector. I don't use telemarketing now. I don't like it. I don't want to be represented that way. Depends on your sector. If you think it would work for you, then absolutely use it. If the clients are going to be okay with it, but leverage it out. This is a great way of getting a direct contact with your clients as well. So below the line marketing then, it's very, very narrow. Either individual, they don't overlap. You do telemarketing, it doesn't overlap with anything else pretty much, unless they get a letter on the same day from you, but they forget about it. It's money intensive. Everything costs. This is a money strategy because you've got to pay people to do things for you. You've got to make phone calls, send letters, buy a database, whatever it is. It's money intensive, but time is being reduced for you. So if time is your challenge, do this. If money is your challenge, do the above the line marketing. What we want to do is both, basically, keep both running at the same time if we can. Very short terms, if you want to get a client quick, do this. Because you get on the phone or an email, whatever it is, direct mail, you're going to get an instant response, but you've got to do high volume for it. So if you want to really get a client quickly, then below the line marketing is the way to go, direct. Pick up the phone, do the message, book them in for a meeting, and get them to move towards you. So the time scales are very short, which is good, and it's tangible. Every €1,000 or £1,000 you spend on your marketing campaign, you know exactly what you're going to get back from appointments or connections and clients as well. So you could, the ROI has got to be measured, but it is much more tangible. So you know how your direct mail is working, your email is working, or your telemarketing is working. They're all quite expensive, but if they work, then they're not. The key with this is measuring acquisition costs. If it costs you €500 to buy a client, that's okay, providing that client is worth to you, 20 grand in GP, for example. If you're a martial artist, I would suggest you can't spend 500 quid on getting a new student. You want to be down to the 5 and 10 quid to get a new student. So it depends what sector you're in, but acquisition cost is a key ratio. Low conversion rate. You've got to do volume. So volume business, phone calls, emails, text messages, letters. You're not going to get 90% conversion on these. Low conversion rate to appointment. Even when you get an appointment from these sort of sales, the conversion rate will be lower because you're forcing it on them. They haven't chosen to buy yet. You've got to go into sales mode. It still works. It absolutely works, but you've got to be prepared to be better at selling rather than just converting, if that makes sense. So lower conversion rate and lower retention rate as well, as I said before, because if we sell something hard to people, which we can all do, we can all sell something, we've got to do it. If they don't really buy into it emotionally as well, they'll tend to wander off and compare to price and that type of thing. So those are the downsides to it. it really is insulated. And what I mean by that is if you've got 5 of these strategies running and one goes quiet, the other one will tend to take over. And you know which one it is. So if your email database goes quiet, likely your direct mail database will pick up. It fine-tunes itself. So you're insulated from fluctuations. Whereas on social media, if everybody's on holiday, well, everybody's on holiday. On this method here, you're still getting people coming through. So it's slightly more insulated. It's more predictable because it's tangible. You can measure it and you can see what the results are going to be. It's definitely scalable. Rather than send out 10 letters a week, do 100. You can scale it. If you're doing a video a day, you can't do 10 videos a day because it's your time. So it's highly scalable, and you can subcontract it to other people as well, which is perhaps the goal for these sort of things. And it's highly measurable. You can actually get your ROI back from it as well. So other things for marketing, the best referrals we're going to get, best marketing leads we're going to get are referrals, which they fall into the mix somewhere. Have a referral scheme. We are very fortunate. We get a number of referrals. People say nice things about us from time to time. Now, on a referral basis, high conversion rate again. But ask your clients. Ask your clients to give you referrals. That's all it takes. If somebody gives us a referral, we don't particularly systemize it. We don't pay commission for it. We always say thank you and a bottle of champagne or some chocolates or something like that. We're grateful for it. But just ask, if you want to work with people like you, who do you know we can speak with? If you get a referred lead prospect from a client, they're going to say nice things about you. Then through social proof, the clients are going to buy. So we have a referral program, absolutely critical. Mergers and acquisitions, another way of building your business. Go and buy the competition. Your marketing is great for attracting new clients, new customers and students, but you can buy them from another company. You can go buy the competition, go and buy another business. It's just a different way of investing the money. If you would prefer to just go and buy another company and grow your business that way, well, great. It is marketing, same thing. We bought a language training business in Luxembourg because 2 things. One, it was another stream of activity for us that was leveraged. They had clients that we didn't have, and they had access to a network that we didn't have. So we bought the business, and it sits alongside the coaching business, and now the clients have merged. So we sell coaching and exec to these guys, and then language training to these guys. It works really well. We bought it for 0 cash down, and I recommend you do that as well, especially these days, buying a business but 0 cash down. The business bought itself out of a split of gross profits. We can look at that separately as we go along, but don't ignore that buying a business. It's a good time to buy a business now as well, in my experience, because there's not distressed sellers, but a lot of people are not having a good time. They want to get out, they want to move on, not having a great time of it. If you offer to them and do it nicely, to buy their business and give them a way out, maybe you can grow your business through mergers and acquisitions. It is marketing of a certain type. Have alliance partners for what we do. Typically for us, an accountant practice would be perfect. For us, we deal with the same sort of clients. The accountant looks after the numbers and the strategy and the compliance, and we can help out with the growth and the team building and the leadership side. Together, working with an accountant and with my accountant clients, we have a couple of clients in common, and it works really well. So for us, accountants are great. For you, there might be somebody else, a different sort of organization. Look for companies that are trading in the same sector as you, and that you can have this partnership with. You give your clients to them, they pass their clients to you. High level of trust is required for that. Get to know them well first, but alliance partners can be really, really strong. Franchising and licensing. Again, it's not strictly marketing, but if you want to grow your business, you can bang away at getting new customers, new leads, new connections, or franchise it. If you systemize and structured your business in such a way that it's attractive for the other people, well, then license it. License your IP to somebody, they use your ideas, or go the whole hog and franchise it. It's a very interesting model. I'm not recommending it. I'm just suggesting if you want to grow your business, marketing to get more of the same is one way of doing it, but consider franchising, consider licensing as well. It's a very elegant way of doing it. That's the Labrador just turning up to say hello. So Molly's come to say hello to us now. So marketing covers a very, very broad range. The trick is to systemize and structure and have a regular pattern of activity. We'll look at the activity a little bit more detail later on, but it's to choose the strategies, build your content, build your pages, monitor progress, and do it on a consistent basis to pull these leads in. If you're going to do the outbound marketing as well, great, be careful with it. I recommend direct mail. Telephone, yes, if you like, that it can still work. Emails I'm not so sure about, but you can do the direct approaches through Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook as well, so you can mix it up a little bit. And finally, then it's this through the line. Basically, it's using all these sites and everything together because you're highly visible. One of the things to do, if you Google your name, if I Google Chris French, for example, what am I going to find? I'm not going to do it, Chris, you're quite safe, you're right. What do you find? Now, if you Google me, the reason I use my letters after my name, because it differentiates, but if you Google David Holland MBA, you will find YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, ebook, conference gig, videos, content, books, and I'm everywhere. I think it's the first 2.5 pages of Google is just me all the way through if you get the right search. And that's because we're on all these pages. And because we're selling at this personality-wise as well as results rules, that's how I've got to do it. And the same for you. So you do all these pages and sites to become famous and dominate your sector. That's the real key. That's what we're doing it for, and it absolutely works. Okay, in terms of format of your content, this is the framework to build content for yourselves. AIDA is the structure. If you've seen the Glenn Ross video, I'm not going to share it with you. You can go and find it on YouTube. And Alec Baldwin talks about this in a different context. But anyway, this is the format of how you put a post together, an article or a piece together. Number one, attention, a headline, something to grab their attention. That will draws the eye. Next one is interest. Must be something to draw them in, something of interest to them about what you can help them with, the problems they face or what you solve. Then desire, why they want it, why they need it, why they should have it. And action is what they need to do to take advantage of it. Call me now, have a conversation, reach out, let me know how it's going. So that's how you frame your content, whether it's a video, whether it's a written post, whether it's an article, whatever it is, you can use that framework to gauge your content and put a headline out there. Some of the famous headlines, the best marketing headlines in the world, there's some very classic ones out there. One of the things like, one of the most popular ones was back in the 1960s, I think. It's a classic in marketing terms, and it was a big advertising board, and it said, "Real men don't eat quiche." And of course, that was that got the attention. And it was from I think it was on the Egg Marketing Board or something like that. And it grabbed the attention of everybody because any guys who are eating quiche go, well, yes, they do. I mean, it's okay for me to eat a quiche. It's all right. So a little bit of provocation is okay in a good way, but going back to the values and standards and personal brands, grab their interest. Why should they listen to you? What problem do you solve? What's the engagement? And why do they need it? Why should they reach out? And then how can they contact you? That's a very simple formula for putting content together. Okay, so that's the sort of first section done. Any questions? We've covered a heck of a lot of ground there. Any questions before we go for a quick coffee break? Any questions? Please just type them in. If not, don't. But everybody happy? I can see some people. Are you happy? Yeah, good. It's real strange doing this. I was speaking to a couple of people during the week because I know I'm speaking with you all on a one-to-one basis, but I've no idea if you're awake or you've wandered off, because I can't see you all. But I trust that you're all there anyway. So, yes, I will. Sally, I'll be going through how to respond to messages. In fact, I have a template of standard messages that I use, and I'll email it out with the templates. But I'm going to show you after the break my LinkedIn page and actually take you through it and show you some of the things that I've done, my Facebook page as well. And I have a template toolkit that I'll send to you for cut and paste for just about any scenario on LinkedIn or Facebook. So yeah, absolutely. Linda, excellent, good, thank you. You're still there, good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I will leave this running. I will just, where are we? Mute myself and park my video. I'm going to grab a quick cup of tea and back in here in about 10 minutes so we can go grab a coffee. Is that okay? Excellent, good. I'll see you in 10 minutes. Thanks, guys. Okay, welcome back. If you can hear me, you can take your seats again. Let me know you're back. Let me do a quick yes or something would be nice, just so I know you're alive. And I'll start my video again so you can see me. Wow, it's warm here. Barry, hi. Linda, hi. Thank you. Good. Thank you. Yeah, it's 27 degrees down here in the Moselle, so all is nice. Lynn's done me a message, just so you know, a message. She said, when I hope the sales conversation is going well, all good. And she's invited me to go to the house after this afternoon to do some digging. So that's going to be exciting. All good, all good. Okay, so I can see people sort of back in place, just about. Yep, all good. So, okay, so we'll crack on. We'll keep on going. I will send you a copy of the slides and the video and all that sort of thing as well. So plenty to have a look at. So I'm going to stop doing the slides in a second or two. Just a very quick refresh. The reason for this is that after lockdown, things are going to be different. So we've got to focus on web, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the other sites as well, Instagram and networking, because that's where the leads are going to come from. Most people in professional businesses, just in my experience, even some professional marketers, they don't do this very well. They're not good at it, and it's a missed opportunity. So once you start building your brand, your reputation and visibility, because nobody else in your sector is doing it, you'll stand out from the crowd. It's some of the best video. I mean, Ricky, the video work that you do, I know you've had to do your classes online and streaming now, but you know they're very, very good. It's building the brand, building credibility and reputation. It's good stuff. So what I'm going to do is just stop sharing in the PowerPoint. Now I want to show you my LinkedIn profile. So now hopefully you can now see my LinkedIn profile. Just give me a quick yes, a thumbs up, something. You can see my LinkedIn profile. Okay, then we'll do that. How's that? Yep, excellent. Good. So you can see, good. That's marvelous. Excellent. So this is my LinkedIn profile. I'm going to look to my other screen, so I'm looking over here. I'm just going to talk you through some of the principles about it. So for LinkedIn, this is what we have to do. So number one is your banner. I'll just move my mouse across the banner. Now, it should be a branded banner. It should be big and bright with your logo on it and some suggestion about what your company does, even though it's my personal page. So have the banner nice and strong. And that should be the same banner on your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook profile, and your YouTube channel as well, if you can. So have that banner consistent, because it gives that consistency to the marketing. Then when it comes down to your photograph, obviously use your photograph, but it should be just a sort of headshot. If you're stood in the background, riding a horse into the distance or something like that, you can't see you. Plus also when you're on a mobile device, it's much smaller, so you've got to have just a headshot. And where you should be looking is straight ahead or straight in and slightly into the page, over to the left. Don't look away from the page. That suggests you don't want to be there. Into the page, and even down a little bit is okay, but head on. Smiling is okay if you've got your own teeth. Smiling is okay. Headshot, and it must be current as well. Don't have if I put a picture on there of me as a 18-year-old, you'll never recognize me. So current photograph in the box. Now your name here, obviously you put your name in here. I use the letters MBA because I do have an MBA, but it differentiates me for a variety of reasons. So I use that. But here, next to the name, you can add a strapline. And all you do is you extend your surname out on the box. So I use the business co-pilot, because that's, I think, what I do. I sit next to people in their business. I help them. I guide them and support them. It's their business, but I'm there as their co-pilot. I'm with them on the journey. So if you see me share a post, or I get tagged, or I'm visible anywhere, you don't just see David Holland, you see the business co-pilot as well. So whatever you put in there will get circulated around wherever your posts and content go. So think of a little tag you can use for yourselves. It can be any, I know Aaron, I'm going to bring Aaron on a little bit later on, and he's done some great work on this as an accountant. He's got a super little tagline that's had some very good response. So Aaron, just brace yourself, and I'll bring you on in a second or two. So next, then the description. Now, a lot of people here, if you look at the job that you do, they put on here things like CEO and founder, director, vice president, sales, or something like that. Nobody's interested in that. They don't care that you're the CEO and founder. What they care about is what is it that you do? What's the value you provide? So describe what it is that you do. So for me, it's what I do, coaching and mentoring, but it's to who I work with to achieve professional goals and personal dreams. That's fundamentally what I do. I am the CEO, if Lynn lets me be the CEO. I am the co-founder of my business, but who cares? Nobody cares about that, not from an engagement point of view. The CSSF in Luxembourg, they need to know, but nobody in the marketing world needs to. So just consider what you're going to put on there. And if it says founder, CEO, managing director or something like that, maybe not. It's not the most attractive thing about you. It's not why people buy from you. Then in the about box, I'll stretch that down a bit here. So this is where you put your content. So, but in an engaging way. Don't I put it? Business can be fun and rewarding, exciting, but also be difficult, challenging, and frustrating. Of course, it can. It's what happens. People reading that go, yeah, it is. It is exciting. It is frustrating. And what I do, I bit of my background, who I work with, what I do, and it's just like a bit of an advert. That's all it is. So engineer that, craft that nicely, not just what you do, but sort of why you do it as well to a degree. Now, when it comes to the, you scroll down, then we have, you should be able to feature videos and content. So if you produce a video you put it onto YouTube, for example, you can tag it onto your LinkedIn channel. And these are my featured ones. So this is an article I wrote, why startup feedback can screw you, then a coaching program video and all that sort of thing. You can tag your videos into LinkedIn as well. So when people are looking through your profile, they can just click on it, have a look, and learn more about you and go through to your YouTube channel as well. So use that. Everybody can do that. Embed videos. And what I'm really looking for is on my dashboard. As you scroll down, you see my dashboard. I'm just going to refresh the page, make sure it's absolutely up to date. It's been parked for a couple of hours. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so I've had 1,991 viewers of my profile in the last 90 days. Or the last 3 months, that's how many views I've had. My video so far today has had 143 views, and I've appeared in 538 search appearances. Now, what I'm going to do, if I look at my dashboard in more detail, click on that, it gives me the chart. Now, that post I did about my mom and the toilet rolls, if you remember, that one that got 1/3 views, this is what happened when I posted it. That got 595 views in that week, nearly 600 views in a week of my profile, my particular page, just because that post went up. Then it sort of crashes down again. For me, I want to have at least 100 views per week. So this is what's happening on mine: 128, 138, dipped, 119, 124. This week, I did cheat, but I cranked it up because I was speaking with you guys this week. So I cranked it up a little bit in terms of content. So now up to 150 views this week. Now, if I do that, that level of engagement is my barometer. That's my KPI. If I do 120, 150 views a week, I know I'm going to get one, on average, inquiry a week coming in. It's the acid test of all the content that I do. You can check your own profile. And if you want to get to 50 or 100, whatever it is, whatever the balance is, all we have to do is gauge your content and the pace of posting such that you get that engagement coming through. If I want to increase this level of content, I just think it just increase the engagement, more comments, more connections, more visibility, more videos, and it automatically cranks up and gets more leads coming through. So that's my dashboard. That's when I put that post out there, but I want to measure it's pretty consistent on the sort of engagement I get, and it should be the same for you, because consistency really is the key. Now, when I look at, if I go back then to who's looked at my profile, where are we? Let's go here. Oh, here we go. I'll go a second. So I've got 10,622 connections, and those build I want to have at least 10, 15 a day building my connections. So I look at the people I've connected with today so far, and you can see here, I have no idea who these people are. Well, some of them I may do. So Adesh Thomas, no idea, connected 2 hours ago, just before we did this. Janet. Now Lucy is interesting because I know she works with a company called Haig & Co, which is a company of Greg Morrell over in the UK, who's a client friend now, and I think Sally is on the call now, and so that's all joins all the dots. So I know who they are. It's really good. So I've got about 10-15 people all connect with me in the last 24 hours. So Tony Merrill, yeah, but I connect with anybody. It doesn't matter, only because imagine if I don't know, Bill Gates had wanted to connect with me 30 years ago and I'd blocked him. I don't know where they're going to go. These people have big networks. They can't do me any damage, and it's unlimited on LinkedIn pretty much. So just connect with anybody. It doesn't do you any harm unless you get that Brian Cullen sort of message come through when you can just go back and block and delete. So let's go back to my my profile page for you. Okay, so who's viewed my profile? These are the actual people. So there's Adesh, he looked at my profile. This guy's Sidhu, he's already a first degree member. I can see, now because I'm a premier member, I can see all the people who've looked at my profile. There's Chris French, look, bless you, thank you for that. There's Tommy, excellent. Now if they look at my profile, this Paul Keary, I've no idea who he is. I will send him a connection request, but I'll also do a message to go with it. I'll send you the template across. So it's, hi Paul, thanks for looking at my profile. Always interested in connecting with new people on LinkedIn. Please accept my connection request. Best wishes from Luxembourg. Nice and gentle, bang, off he goes, and see what happens. So anybody who looks at my profile, I always, just a second, do the chat box open. And then I build my connection. So a couple of questions. So from Doug, how do you stop your feed becoming an unspeakable mess from all the random likes and desires? It's amazing. It doesn't. It's one of those things. I'm going to get rid of the message box there. It tends not to, actually, because the LinkedIn's not that busy as a chat room. So what I look for is I do lots and lots of content, and the people who I want to connect with are those that participate on my content, not the other way around. In terms of messaging, I'll show you my message box in a minute. I don't get that many, not really. I'll probably get, I don't know, half a dozen a day or something, but I don't get 10,000. They don't bother. They might look, of that 10,000 people I'm connected with, and I've got about 13, nearly 14,000 followers, you know, only 10% actually engage at any one time. It's a different 10%. But don't worry, it won't overwhelm. You're not going to get thousands of messages coming through. Wish that we did, but we don't. So it tends not to happen. So I will go back and connect with these people. If I look at the messaging, picking up on Doug's point there, here's my messaging inbox. Now, I'm a member of a group, the Global Strategy Group. They're popping up all the time. There's Killian. Now, Adesh, he connected with me, and I'll show you his message, bless him. Lovely guy. Digital marketer and business consultant, mini importation business, whether that's car importation, I'm not so sure, is a coach. And he said, thanks for connecting. You're welcome. Always respond, have a conversation. And then just before we started this call, he said, I would like to know you. I'm Tom from Nigeria. So I'll see what I do with that. I'm not sure what to do with Tom from Nigeria just yet, but we'll see. But if somebody connects, so Janet, thank you for connecting with me and for engaging. Look forward to hearing from you, blah, blah, blah. Very nice. Have a great day. Hey, Janet, my pleasure. Good to be connected. It's social media. That's all. It's so you've got to be social with this thing. I don't know Janet. I have no idea who she is or where she's from. She may know somebody that I know or connect with, or she maybe want to become a client, maybe able to help her, maybe able to help me as well. So keep the engagement up. This is why it takes a while to do these sort of things. We've got various ones on here going through, but then back to March the 19th, not that many. This is sort of what, 2 or 3 days ago, and you can see not thousands of messages coming through. So it's pretty straightforward. So that's the LinkedIn profile. Any questions on the LinkedIn profile? Because Sally, you had a question around the messaging. I've got the template out there. Sally, what do you get as a lead? You said you get some leads coming in. What sort of message do you get? Was it sort of a, let me know and I'll come back to you through Facebook. Okay, let me click onto Facebook. So this is going to be my Facebook page. So let's go back up to the top. Here's my Facebook page. So same thing. This is my personal page. They've got the business page, same banner, same top on it, all that sort of thing. I've got 5,000 friends, of which I know exactly 65 of them. But again, I'll connect with anybody. I don't care. I'm pretty open to it. Anybody says anything silly, I just block them and delete them. I've had a couple of connection requests come in. Let's see who they are up here. Virginia, of course. I don't yet. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, Virginia, just for you, you're going to choose now which friend I fire, so I can allow you in. So I'm not going to fire Claudia, obviously, but I'm going to go and just scroll down. I'm going to pick somebody that I don't know. I'm going to fire them and let you in because you're more important than these guys. Who have we got? I know all these people. That's the problem. So Sally Morrell. I'm not going to fire Sally Morrell. I'm going to fire. Oh, I'll pick somebody in a second. I'll pick that I've never come across, never heard of. Thing is, I know more people than you think. That's the problem. So who am I going to get rid of? My goodness. Here we go. No, I can't. I'll do it later on. Virginia, I will accept your request. I'm going to pick somebody to fire and let you in. Andrew Walton, I don't know, and then message coming through. Same thing applies though on the Facebook feed. What I've done here, here's my video from today, 21st of May, as it appears on my LinkedIn channel. Same text, same messaging. I share it, and thankfully other people share it as well. Same content. Now, if I get a message come in on Facebook, and it will just be something like, I like what you do. I say, great, here's some info. Okay, so yeah, so Sally, I think that's pretty sort of typical of what we get. We get somebody's probably say, love your video, like your content, and they just sort of are hovering around a little bit. I would always go back and what I call assume the sale or assume a sale and go back. Thanks very much. We have a range of products and services and all this sort of thing, and ask them a question. What is it specifically that you are interested in? Is it whatever it is that you do? You know, I would say, for example, is it language training or executive coaching perhaps, or is it a workshop or a conference? Now, if they engage with that and they say, well, I was actually thinking of we're running a conference next year. Oh, well, that's great. What's it about? Have this conversation. The pinch point is get them onto a call, which sounds very harsh. Get them onto a call. I never leave them. And if they're still responding, engage, thank them for their inquiry or thank them for interest. What is it that you're interested in? And just book them onto a call. Would it be helpful to have a 5-minute Zoom call about this and have a quick virtual coffee and a chat? Yeah, that'd be great. Book them in and away you go. Then you've got a sales meeting. So any level of interest that you get, if you think it's worth following through, I wouldn't go back and say, if it was me, just, that's great, thanks, and here's some more information, because then it puts them in control. I go back and say, thanks, that's great. You know, we have a variety of services and products and things we do. Here they are. Which one of these is the one that you would be most interested in, do you think? Or which is the one that you would be, likely to want more information on? Try and engage them in that level of conversation if you can. If they go cold and wander off, well then great, but always go back with an engagement. Pretend you're chatting in a coffee shop with them and somebody says, oh, I like what you do. Yeah, great. You go, oh, of course we do this, this and this, and what, it's just a discussion. So always engage, always engage. I always believe anybody who connects with me or contacts or messages is, if I put my sales head on, it's a potential sale. So I follow it through, not in a hard sales sort of way, but I'm assuming that they're going to buy something. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's a workshop, whatever it is, and treat them that way. These are precious comments. So, okay, great. So yeah, treat them as precious, feedback, follow up, and ask them what they're interested in. Also, what you can nice little tip is if they ask a specific question and say, I like what you do, you can go back and say something like, oh, great, look, so I can really give you the right information, would it be okay if I ask you a couple of questions? And they come back, yeah, of course it is, great. Well, here's my couple of questions. Is it this or that you're looking at? Give them a couple of options and they'll guide down, and then you know what you're sending them. I would prefer to have a conversation, depends what you're doing, a conversation rather than send out information, because then it evaporates. Always try and get a conversation or a meeting, but nowadays, what we're looking at, I definitely go for a conversation. If it goes cold, do you follow up again? Yeah, absolutely, keep them going. There's no escape. Not until they tell me to clear off. But if they're interested last week, well, they could be interested this week as well. So I'll just keep nudging them, little message, here's something, saw this and thought of you, here's an article. here's something else, whatever it is. Just keep nudging away until they either block you or delete you, or they go completely cold. But they're still going to see your content. So yeah, do you friend or connect with organizations? No, I don't. I avoid friending or following organizations. I friend and follow people, because people buy from people and they're much more engaging. So I only go for people, and I expect people to engage with me as well. So Facebook is the same content, and got all the message board again here. The lads are coming home from the Walnut Cottage. Excellent. All the people on here, they message me regularly during the day, updates, thank yous, hellos. This is open all the time on my screen. I'm chatting to people in between meetings and just saying hi and hello, and then waiting for the leads and inquiries to come through. So that's my Facebook page. This is my YouTube channel, just so you know. So this is general YouTube, and then go to my channel. Here we go. So here's the Results Guy channel, and these are where all my videos are logged. So here's the videos. Here they all are. All the daily videos are on here. Now, what you'll see here is that a lot of them have no views, mainly because I don't circulate from here. I circulate by embedding them into LinkedIn and Facebook Direct. These are just for circulation at another time, but they're all on here, so I keep them all here, and I can then circulate them around as I go along. So I have a YouTube channel, easy to set up, park all your videos. All you do is you go into your video that's on the camera roll, and then you just click on here. So create a video, click on that, upload video, and that will allow me then just to drop in a video from my PC. It takes 5 minutes to upload, and it's done. That's my morning ritual. If you want to get pictures and images for your posts and content, I recommend this page, which is Pixabay. So I've typed in the word dog here. I've put the word cat in there for balance. There we go. Cats will top up, tigers and stuff like that. What this site is all these images are free to use, no copyright, anything like that. So you can just download the image and you're free to use it without accreditation. So it gets around all the IP stuff you might get if you download off the internet. So Pixabay is a great site for images and that type of thing. So a lot of the images I use on my presentations, PowerPoints and posts, they come from here. And so those are my social media sites, basically. Any questions on those? Because I'd like to bring in Aaron to talk about his wonderful work that he's doing. Any questions? Sally, does that help for you on the response? I'll send the message template out for you. But yeah, okay, we've got it. Good. Okay, so Aaron, are you okay to come onto the call?
Yes, no problem at all.
Aaron, hi there. Good to see you. Welcome. So I hope everybody can hear and see Aaron now. So Aaron, welcome. Good to see you. Could you just give us a quick overview of sort of what you do, but also what you're doing on specifically on LinkedIn in terms of messaging and all the content, but just give people a picture and what results you're getting from it so they can learn some tips.
Yeah, I probably wasn't as active on LinkedIn before I got started with you, Dave. So it's thanks to what you've been doing and helping me get the stuff done. Mm-hmm. So first of all, we set up, I initially was doing outbound on it, where we were sending out messages, connecting, and then waiting 3 days, and then we would go back in and send another message to them. And I always felt a bit as if this is a bit spammy and I'm just sort of throwing crap at a wall and hoping it sticks, but it did stick. We got leads through it. Yeah. So we built our connections then from about 1,300 connections to 5,000 connections in the space of about 3 months. That has worked really, really well. It's brought in leads to us. Now it's just a matter of being consistent with it. And I never believed in the consistent side of it, that it would get done. Just sending messages out one after another, or putting posts out that it would work. Yep. And it has worked now. We've now got inbound leads coming in, as Dave says, pretty much 3 to 4 a week coming in through LinkedIn now.
Very nice, nicely done. You've done some videos as well. Were you comfortable doing the videos?
Not at all. I mean, one of the things I never wanted to do was do videos, but Dave held a gun to my head and made me do videos, so I now have to do videos. And they do work. I didn't believe that they'd work, but they do. The videos have probably actually brought in more leads than the posts have.
Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Because I think what it does, it as an accountant, very few accountants do this sort of thing. So you do, and you stand out from the crowd. You stand out from the crowd. And how much time do you spend on sort of LinkedIn, social media a week? Do you reckon now?
Okay, so I probably spend at least an hour and a half a day at the moment on it.
Okay.
And just sending. So I'll either be getting posts ready to put out. So up to last week, we only did pretty much one post a day. We're now trying to do 3 posts out a day if we can. And including a video. I've done 1 video since last week. I've done a few more, but I haven't bothered putting them up yet.
Okay, great. And so a question from Gareth to everyone, but how long did it take to get the momentum? When you sort of started uplifting the activity, how long did it start before you started really paying dividends for you?
Well, I think it was, I don't know if it was you that said it to me, Dave, or somebody said it to me. Once you hit past 5,000 connections, you'll notice it changes. And I just thought, yeah, that's just somebody saying that, but it does. I came over like 5,200, and all of a sudden leads started to come in.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and so I think it takes a while, but I think getting over that 5,000 or a few thousand connections, if you've got below 500 connections, for example, number one, it shows up on LinkedIn for you, because when I look at your page, it shows me you've got fewer than 500. Above 500 is just 500 plus. But there is that sort of sweet spot. That's why I connect with anybody, and just to connect with anybody, it doesn't matter where they are, it all adds into the mix to generate this through. So, okay, excellent. Any particular tips for anybody listening in, Aaron? By the way, Aaron is one of the top accountants in the UK. Anybody on the call who's thinking or looking for an excellent accountant, give Aaron his LinkedIn page is on my screen, so give him a shout. But any couple of tips, Aaron, before I'm going to drag Stefan in a second or two?
Just be consistent at it. Don't start it and stop halfway through. Because I did that and it fell off at the very start. Just be consistent and get a post going out every day. Put the posts up yourself and don't use a platform to do it, because I found the platforms, when you use like a content calendar or Hootsuite, they the algorithms in LinkedIn, it knocks you way down and your posts don't come up and you don't get as much views or likes.
Yeah. Excellent, fabulous, Aaron. Thank you. You're a star. I did warn you, but anyway, thank you for participating. You're a good man. Thank you. So, okay, is Stefan? A quick question here from Sally. Do connections have to be in your industry? No, not at all. I mean, I think for me, at least, I think for most of us, the broader reach we have, the better. I don't know most of my connections, but just general, all over the world, general connections from manufacturing to oil and gas to accountants to lawyers to just about anybody. I'll connect with anybody only because it gives me that momentum on the algorithm that I'm being seen and visible and people are engaging. So, I mean, you want to target the connections, that are people who are potentially going to be your clients and prospects, but you're probably not going to have 30,000 of those. So core business, yes, but I just connect with anybody basically to jack the numbers up a little bit. Okay, so where's Stefan? Where's my video star? Where are we? There he is. Stefan, hi there. Good to see you. So, can everybody hear Stefan? Just
yeah, you hear me? Perfect.
Excellent, good. So, you have. Could you just explain a little bit for everybody? You're with Sandrine in the top relocations company in the world, we'll say, but based out of Luxembourg. Just give us a quick overview of your experience from starting with your social media, LinkedIn video journey, and give us a flavor of what's working and how you're getting on with it.
Well, like a lot of people, like Aaron, I really didn't like to do videos, and I pushed away the first time I would do it. And at one point, I had somebody with a baseball bat behind me who said, "Okay, I'm waiting for your video next week." And basically, I said, "Yeah, I don't have any videos," and I did a few before, but it really started with this one. And I said, well, I did a video with my daughter, which was a dancing challenge from her dance teacher, which was really fun. And David said, well, go for it, publish it. I said, no way, I don't want to publish that on LinkedIn. And said, yeah, do it. You will see, you will reach the 10,000 views. And well, I prepared it. I was a bit stressed to click on on the publish button, and basically it was amazing. It's just that I had a lot of connection afterwards, a lot of interactions on the post, especially in this time of lockdown, coronavirus, bad news. People were happy to have a fun video to watch, and well, it's what I've noticed is that it's just a question of training. And like you, Aaron, I really don't. I'm a bit stressed when I'm starting to be in front of my own video. But then I start to play the game. I've had people asking me for interviews on podcasts. 2 days ago, I was on a live show with a guy from the relocation industry, and it was live on Facebook and LinkedIn with, I don't know, 70 people watching it, talking about my experience. And well, I must say that now I start to enjoy it.
And what's been the results in the business? I mean, everybody's been on this lockdown situation, and you guys particularly, you help people move, which was sort of impossible during the lockdown. But as we're creaking out of it, what's happened as a consequence of all this? Not specifically, but just sort of how's it going?
Yeah, the thing is that, of course, as people could not move and we couldn't do any home search for them, administration were closed, we couldn't help with any paperwork. We said that we needed to be visible because otherwise, people tend to forget you. And the only way to do that was to use social media. So I really put posts on information on what was going on in Luxembourg in terms of rules for the coronavirus. I did videos, I shared my interviews, and last month I did a webinar, which was, I think 150 people. I set up 150 people who could join the webinar, and well, it was I think in 3 days it was sold out, and on the day I had I think 55, 60 people who attended, which I was amazed. I thought I would have maybe between 10 and 15.
Fabulous. So it's working. I think the thing is, as you demonstrated, video is key. It's just a key one, but this non-business, personal, fun, personality revealing sort of thing, if you get a chance to see Stefan's video on LinkedIn, it's worth a look. I guarantee it. It's worth a look. He's a very good dancer. He's in a dress as well, so it makes it even better. But I think that was a sort of bit of a tipping point. I think that's the right term.
Yeah, and I'm now every time I meet someone or have a discussion. On Tuesday night when I had my interview, of course the dancing video came out. So now I think I have to live with it.
Excellent. Good. Stefan, thank you. So Stefan's page is up on the shared screen. You can welcome to contact him and have a look at his videos. Well worth a look. But yeah, Stefan, good man. Thank you very much. Actually, I'm going to bring Phil on in a few minutes. So Phil, yes. But Ricky, could I bring you on? Would you mind, Ricky? I know. Only because the reason I'm going to bring Ricky on, because totally different sector in the UK, and done some amazing work. Let's just get Ricky unmuted. So just a very quick intro. Ricky can introduce himself, but Ricky's one of the top martial artists in the UK and had to literally change his business overnight from an academy-based business to a video streaming business within 24 hours. Done a fabulous job. So Ricky, welcome. Good to see you, sir, as always. You're much more heavily involved in sort of Facebook and this type of thing. Could you just give a flavour of what you're doing on your social media feeds, both from a Zoom video point of view? You're attracting new students now. Just a quick, what's working for you as well?
As both gentlemen have said, it's just about being consistent and making sure that you are posting content every single day. For my actual students themselves, in terms of retention, we're doing a lot of challenges and just interactive kind of material that gets them involved every single day. So even if we're not doing, so on a Monday and a Wednesday and a Saturday, we do live classes, which are very popular. On a Saturday, we do parents and child class and family classes, which gets everybody involved, which is great. And then all the other days of the week, we're putting up like martial arts colouring pages, martial arts challenges, different stuff for parents and kids to do together that's kind of related to martial arts or character development. We have, since we went on lockdown, we have signed up 35 new students virtually. In fact, we have students in London and Manchester now, which is great. And yeah, so it's just about making sure that we're on point in terms of our content every single day. Don't stop just because the world has kind of stopped, but it's keep going. And as Dave said to me, the people who take the most action now are the ones who's going to bounce back the fastest when we come out of this. And that's why we're doing a lot of stuff.
I think to sign 35 students in this environment is brilliant. So well done. But it all comes down to activity and content. I see what you're doing. It's visible, but also I think just my observation of what you're doing really well is, yes, it's really good martial arts content. But you've got your family, you've got Kate, you've got the dog on there as well. There's a lot of fun stuff, a lot of engaging stuff on there, but it's not strictly martial arts. There's a lot of engaging things. You do some videos with your boys when was it doing the sword drop, I think it was they were doing, and a lot of fun stuff as well, which is great.
Yeah. I mean, as you said, don't just market or brand yourself. I mean, you're a business, but also work on yourself as well, because as you say, people buy from people. And that's what we try to do every day, pretty much.
Fabulous. No, they do. They buy from us. So excellent, Ricky. Thank you. That was really, really good. It was nice of a separate sector. And I'm going to mute you. Sorry, sir. I never mute a martial artist, really. But anyway, it can get dangerous. So where's Mr. Phil Taylor? Because where is he? Where is he? Where has he gone? There he is. Gotcha. Phil, can I unmute you? Are you ready?
I'm on mute.
Oh, you are unmuted. Sorry, just muted you again. So, Phil, I mean, for those who know Phil, or maybe don't know, Phil is a sort of specialist on sort of marketing and LinkedIn. I thought it'd be really good, hopefully not to contradict anything I've said, but Phil, have you got any sort of top tips for people on the call now listening in, that either things that I've missed or to reinforce? What's your experience? What's your recommendation? What people could do to raise up their profiles in this area?
About the reach on LinkedIn and third-party posting tools, but Aaron has already touched on that. Mm-hmm. So I just back him up and kill off Hootsuite and HubSpot once and for all. Mm-hmm. LinkedIn restrict the reach on third-party posting platforms. So if it comes up with a third-party posting platform tag on it, it won't get as far as a manually entered post. Facebook went further and just unlinked profiles from third-party posting tools. You can still post to pages, but not to profiles. Mm-hmm. When it comes to pages, both on Facebook and LinkedIn, both of those platforms want you to advertise. So whilst they accept that businesses will use third-party posting tools simply because of the volume that they're doing and the size of the organization, mm-hmm. the reach won't be as big as if they advertise, and that is pay the platforms for the reach. Right. So that's all I would say on the third-party posting tools. Yeah. Other things, when you are manually posting, two things that are coming to the fore, particularly on LinkedIn, are hashtags and tagging people. Yeah. The first one, deal with hashtags first. These are subjects that other people on LinkedIn follow. For whatever reason, they will follow certain subjects. And those subjects are personified by the hashtags that are used. So you need to do a bit of research into which hashtags are popular before you decide to use a hashtag. LinkedIn, when you're putting your post together, suggests hashtags based on what you've typed into your post. You don't have to use them, but you can do. The other thing is the positioning of hashtags. Two schools of thought here. One is that you use them within the text, thus allowing the LinkedIn algorithm to give your hashtag some context. Mm-hmm. The other one is just stick them all at the bottom, which leads into another one, which is how many hashtags do you use? I'm sure you've seen some posts which go on for 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines of hashtags. My advice is don't do that, because that confuses the algorithm and you won't get as much reach through your hashtags. But in terms of a post, you might use anything up to 4 or 5 hashtags. If you're doing articles which are longer form content on LinkedIn, you might use as many as 6 or 7, but you need to keep the hashtags relevant to the content of your post or article. It's no use just sticking in a hashtag because it looks good. The chances are it won't even look good, but some people do that. The other part I would go on to is tag people on your posts particularly.
Yeah.
Now, don't tag them if you're not asking them a question, because they'll just get annoyed. What you're doing is you've written a post, you've written on a subject, you've voiced an opinion perhaps, or made a statement. What you do at the end of it is really the call to action at the end, which is to ask for an opinion from other people, the people that you're going to tag. And some will answer, some won't. Don't worry if they don't answer. Just keep trying. Eventually, they might respond. Don't just don't just tag people that you normally either correspond with or meet with or interact with on the platform. Tag people that you don't normally speak to or interact with on the platform. And when they do answer, the final thing I will say about this is when they do answer, join the conversation. Don't use it as a broadcast tool. It's be there and be responsive to what people say, because they might come back and disagree with you. They might come back and put a counter statement. They might come back, whilst agreeing with you, raise new points. And it's a good idea. It's like having a conversation with somebody remotely. That's really what that's all about. With the tagging of people, of course, what you're doing there, you've established the relationship by connecting with people. By tagging them in your posts, you're maintaining that relationship and perhaps even growing it, because when they see that you've tagged them, it might not be that they just look at the post and respond to it. It might be they come and look at your profile again and, you know, why have I been tagged? Why do I know this person? Then refresh their memory. So it's all good visibility stuff. That's about it.
Excellent. Thank you, Phil. I'll put your LinkedIn pages on the screen as well. Anybody can contact Phil, say hello. I'm sure he'll be welcome to have that. But it's great to have these other perspectives and this sort of thing into the mix, because it's such a broad church, if you like. It's a big one. So Phil, thank you. You're a star.
So it's come up is Sally's mentioned that hashtags are crucial on Instagram too. Instagram is Facebook. So when I say Facebook, I mean all Facebook assets, including WhatsApp.
Excellent. Good. Phil, thank you. You're a star. Thank you very much. And I just know, I think Chris has seen the video. Stefan's posted the video on the message feed here. So, yeah, you can see what happened there. But you can also see, I mean, it is not a business video, okay? It's a fun video. It's a family one that you could argue, you know, maybe not place on LinkedIn, but if that's your personality and your style, and that's what people are going to get when they contact you, it's absolutely fine. I think it's fair to say Stefan was very nervous when he pressed the send button. I think he was still nervous now to a degree, but that's what it takes to be different, unique and special and that sort of thing out there. So good. I'm glad you circulated, Stefan. Thank you for that. Have a look at it. If you're not connected with Stefan already, you'll find him on obviously on LinkedIn. So yeah, have a look. All right. So any questions? Let me get my slides back up. Another couple of slides to go, and I will get this back on track. Okay, so any questions? Anything to type in? Awesome, makes it. We're never going to live this down now. Never going to live this down, Stefan, but still. So any more questions? Not about Stefan's legs, about the content, but anyway, you're all watching Stefan's video now. So what I will do, I will circulate the copy of the video, the slides. We've got the LinkedIn template for the questions, that type of thing to come through, the client avatar. And what I'd suggest or recommend, if you could, for homework for the week is, Stefan, you stole the show again with your video, good man, excellent, is number one, to build yourself a client avatar. You know, use the form, decide what your perfect client looks like. Then we put the content out there to attract them. No, it's good, it's perfect, it's not disturbing at all, it's great. Will Sandrine do a follow-up video? Now there's a challenge. There is a challenge for Sandrine to do a follow-up video because, yes, I'm not saying anything but Sandrine, who is probably going to block me and delete me now, but anyway. So build a client avatar. Produce a video for the week between now and next week. Produce a video. It doesn't have to be a dancing video, but get some sort of video, 2 or 3 minutes, and put it up on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever you like. But get a video done, just you talking to camera, a couple of minutes max, just not a business you want. Talk about your hobbies or anything you like, or the weather, whatever. Just you talking to camera as a bit of a challenge would be great. Put a content plan together so we know what you're going to be putting out and where. This, the video a day or video a week or posts and that sort of thing. Start to work the plan, and I'd like you to go get a lead between now and next week, specifically from what you're doing now. Get a lead, get an inquiry, get a conversation going. So when we touch base next week, we can sort of compare notes and how did it go with all of this content that you're doing right now through this process. Let's see if you can get a meeting booked or a conversation, an inquiry or a lead or some sort, or Chris get some more students coming on board. So that's my challenge for you for homework for the week. Ricky, I think you've got another about 10, 15 students to get for the end of the month, I think it is. Excellent, so it's work in progress. And so everybody can do this. So use the content, use the videos, use the whole network. And the reason we're doing this is get some leads, get some content coming in. So, okay, good. So any final questions before I let you go? Everybody happy? Everybody awake? It's good, looks like it. Anything crops up, drop me a message. I'm here for you anyway as we go along. Thank you for participating. I will see you next week. Jonathan, thank you. You're very kind. Any feedback, obviously open to that. And I'll send the notes out. Keep me posted. We're speaking so much during the week anyway, and I'll see you next week. So have a great week. Keep me posted. I'll see you again soon. All right, guys. Take care. Bye for now.